Yo, what's good? Welcome back to a new video. Today I'm going to show you how I make hard beats for real Boston, Richey, Future, Lil Durk. First I'm gonna break down the melody and then we'll do the drums together. Let's go. So this is the final sample. Started this sample off pretty simple with a piano layer. When you layer your melodies, you want to always make them more interesting, so don't just make the pianos like this all the time. Add some variation. And as for effects, I just cut out the lows. Next up I added this pattern from Opus. Exported it out because we have some Portal on it from my brother Marco's Chromium Portal preset bank. I used the retro piano from Forbidden Planet. Next up I added one of my one-shots from my Antidote one-shot kit as an accent, which sounds like this. It's pretty simple. Next thing I added was a phrase. Pitch it down 4 semitones, change the speed and add an EQ. Last thing I added was this violin lead melody. It's also from Opus, from the East-West Silk library, the Kemenche light. And to round it off I just added a bass. Just a clean sub bass from Analog Lab, this one. Bass, Selm, and then I pretty much exported it and pitched it up 1 semitone to D minor. Oh, let's add the 808. Don't forget to cut itself, otherwise it's overlaying and it sounds trash. What I always do is I make a 2-bar hi-hat pattern, then copy it over and change something in the 4th bar. And the reason I do this because when I was back in school I used to drive the bus to school and sometimes I wouldn't listen to music or podcasts. And I would just sit there and I'd hear all the other people or all the other AirPods of the people around me just playing the hi-hats and the snares or claps. And those hi-hats were always so simple. And it was always the same, and you could kind of catch a groove for the song just based off the hi-hat. So that's what I'm trying to replicate now in every beat. final element, let's add like a snare roll at the end. As for mixing, if you have good enough sounds already, which all of you should have, there are tons of free kits online, or you can buy some kits. But for mixing, you don't really need to do anything else but leveling, like, to be honest. That's all you need. All you need is to level the sounds to make them sound a little bit better. You don't need to add any crazy effects or anything. One kind of secret sauce you can use on your hi-hats is Looperator. And I've created this preset where I use those reverb sounds, which sounds like this. That's all I do on hi-hats mostly. If I add any effects to drums, that's literally all I do. Just a little Looperator with maybe a reverse and some reverb patterns. Sounds fire. That's the finished beat, all arranged, and pretty much all I did was I've added an intro, then I've added a kind of a pre-hook with only 808 and the snare. Sometimes I take the snare out as well, and only have the 808. Then we go into the hook. First part of the hook, as always, pretty empty. Just the first time the drums drop, you don't need too much. Then we have the second part of the hook with pretty much all the sounds. Then we go into a verse. Start of the verse, I mostly take out the 808s or take out some hi-hats. Then second part of the verse. What I did here was I always cut out the first part of the hi-hat and some of the snare. And if you don't consciously listen for it, you won't really hear it, so it doesn't interfere with the flow of the rapper, but it gives it some more unique bounce inside the whole drum section. So that's what it sounds like. Then we'll go into a pre-hook again, and from here I just pretty much copied over this part again, or pretty much this part again, and then I copied over the hook and the pre-hook again. And then I created a little outro where I took out the 808s and just have like just two instances of the melody. That's pretty much it. If you enjoyed this video, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one.